Good day to you all. This is Creative Works by Annie, and welcome to my channel. I am actually redoing these videos. I will still have the original videos in the playlist. So if you wanted to see those, you're more comfortable with seeing those, go right ahead. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm working from my Granny Skulls pattern. You can pick this up on Ravelry and my Etsy page, just like all my patterns. Or the good majority of my patterns, they run for about $2.99. So you can pick this up there. Okie dokie. So this blanket, if you just want to make a throw and you're working with the approximate yarns that I'm using, you need 9 to 12 for a baby or a toddler blanket, 30 squares for a throw. That's what I'm creating currently. Queen size is 49 squares, which is 7 by 7, and king size is 56 squares. Those numbers for the king and the queen, they don't go to the floor, but they will go over just a little bit. So if you want it to be a bigger blanket, add another row or two, okay? So let's look at what we got here, and then we'll start working. So this little ball right here is the equivalent of one of these skulls. And let's talk about the yarn I'm particularly using for my blanket. I pulled from my stash to create this, to empty out a little bit of my stash and to make these videos for you. Or this video for you. So each one of those is equivalent to this much yarn. And this is actually my second one of these. This is a 7-ounce, 364 skein. I will use maybe about half of this left. Or I will have about half of this left when I finish the blanket, because I will use some of this for the border. So if you're going to pick up this for the skulls to make 30, I would suggest picking up 2 of the 7 ounces. That's equivalent to 728 yards. So whichever you'd like to pick from. Any color. You can go any color you would like. Let's see. And then next one I'm doing is the gray. Let me turn it this way. You can see it a little bit better. And you can see the gray here. And so this particular yarn is this one right here. And this was another one that I just pulled from my stash. And it's about the same weight and thickness and hook size as the Red Heart. And this one I'm going to be using 3 of the 4.5 ounce yarns, which is equivalent to around 855 yards. Okay, I will use this not only to go and do the gray right here. I know it's a little difficult to see because I'm using a black mat. I'll change it when we work on this, so that way you can see it a little bit better. So not only will I be using it here, but I will also be using it to attach the squares, or actually the rectangles. I'll be using it to attach those also together and for the border. So if you want to use more, go right ahead. Let's get rid of this one. Then, yeah, these are the finished rectangles. Okay, I'm going to take out my handy dandy ruler. And as you can see, these are around 11 inches, and these are not blocked. Okay. These are not blocked, these are au naturel, and yes, they come out pretty darn square, so you shouldn't really have to block them unless you absolutely want to. So about 11 inches by about 9 inches. Let's see, can you still see that? I'm going to have to raise up my thing a little. And so this red yarn, we're going to need about 3 of the 7 ounces. This is what I'm using right here, and that's equivalent to about 1,002 yards. This is another one I just pulled from my stash, because I always have this kind of yarn in my stash because it's a wonderful go-to yarn. It washes well, cleans up well, works well. It's a good one. It's a classic yarn, and it's been around for a while, and that's why it's classic. So this one, I basically just go around with the red on this with this, and you can see in the picture here, that's about all I do with the red, but that's going to take the most yardage. Okay, so let me get situated and we will start working on these wonderful squares. See you in just a bit. So we're going to start with making this little guy who has a messed up little eyeball. So we're going to start with this little guy or gal here, and we're going to start in the center here, and we're going to work over and over and make our half moon, and then we'll do the straight line, and then we'll work the rest of the skull. Okay? And I'm going to be using a H hook, which metrically it's a size 5, so either a number 8 or an H, and it's a 5 millimeter. Okay, that's the one that I find that works best for this yarn, both of these types of yarn for me. Okay, of course we're going to need our handy dandy scissors and a wonderful little sewing needle, okay, with the big I because we're working with yarn and not thread. I actually have all my skulls done, so I'm just going to work this one up, and then I'll probably end up just setting it aside, pulling it out later, because I made a little few too many there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by making my slip stitch, and I'm going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to be putting 7 double crochets in this stitch right here. In that first chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Let me count because we need a total of 8 double crochet here. The chain is the first double crochet, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to turn it. We're going to put a double crochet in the first, or the turning stitch right there. And we're going to put 2 double crochet. Oh my gosh, I need to slow it down for you. I am so sorry. I'm just in that kind of a mode. So each one of the stitches, the next 6 stitches, you're going to be putting 2 double crochets in there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, because we want to end up with a total of 14 right here. You're probably thinking, oh my God, that's her slow. Sorry. It's just how I roll. You can always slow me down if you wish. I'll talk a little weird and slower, but it's what happens. Okay, now what we have left is, if you want to turn me down a little slower, go slower. Remember, you can pause at any time, but you can also use the little cog or little star type thing, or gear, whatever you want to call it. And then you can open that up and you can change the speed. Okay. So now after we did our double crochets in all the stitches, we have this little chain right here, our beginning chain, and we're going to put just one double crochet in that one. So after we get our last stitch made, we should have 15 stitches, 15 total stitches, including our beginning chain, because that's always going to count as our first double crochet. So now we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to turn, and we're not going to be putting a stitch in our turning stitch. We're going to be putting it in the second stitch right here. We're going to be putting 2 double crochets. If you've ever had to do a circle and you've expanded it, you kind of know where I'm going here. So then the next stitch, we put 1 double crochet. After that, 2. And we're just going to slow it down, Anne. Slow it down. And then 1, and then 2. And we're just going to keep repeating that. 1. I kind of like to go, when I'm doing like these things and I'm having a lot that I got to do, especially a big circle, I like to go 1, because that's 1 stitch. And then for the next one, since I need 2 stitches in it, I go A, B, 1 in the next stitch, A and B, 1 in the next stitch, A and B, and then 1 in the top of that chain, beginning chain right there. I'm going to chain our 3, 1, 2, 3. But as you can see that this is going to give us 22 double crochets around. That's including this, our beginning chain here. Now we're going to go for row 4. This is going to be our last one to go around. We're going to flip our piece. We're going to not work in the turning. We're going to work in the next stitch. We're going to go 1. And then the next stitch, we're going to go 2. Once again, I'm going to work my little trick. 1 stitch, 2 stitch, A, B. 1, 2, A, B. You can see that kind of helps keep you on track, especially when you get into the bigger numbers that you need to do. Ooh. I like my thread. It doesn't separate like this. Then 1. And, oh, sorry, that's an AB. Oh, come on. I've actually used this yarn before. I made one of my skulls, and then I realized I did 32 skulls, so I had to pull it out, and I'm like, oh, that's the perfect amount to make one of these for the camera. And we're still continuing on. Gonna keep going. We have 4 stitches left. So 1, 2, then we do our A and B again. And then in the very last stitch, we're right on top of our beginning chain there. We just do our double crochet. Now we are going to start round 2. And I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And we're going to be working, I like to work over my tail when it comes over here. Okay, so let me tell you what's going on here first, and then I'll do my little tail tuck, and then we'll start working. So, do I have my blue needle? No, I don't have a blue needle. No. My knitting needle must be somewhere else. So I'll just use my hook for a pointer. So we have our chain 3. We're going to put a double crochet around the side of, or we're going to put 2 double crochets around the side of this double crochet right here. We're then going to put 1 half double crochet in this stitch. We're then going to put a half double crochet around this chain right here. We're then going to work a single crochet in the stitch, single crochet in around this double crochet right here. We're going to put a single crochet in this stitch. We're going to work a half double crochet around this stitch right here. We're then going to put a double crochet in the middle. Going to work a half double crochet, a single crochet in the stitch, a single crochet around this chain, a single crochet in the stitch, half double around this double crochet, a half double in the stitch, 2 double crochets around this chain, and then we're going to put our last DC in our first stitch here. Okay, so let me kind of tuck my tail or prep my tail. My tail's going this way, so I'm just going to go with it. I'm going to stick my hook in and just kind of woohoo it and secure it just a little bit. If you have a longer tail, go for it. You can also tuck in your tails last. I personally like to tuck them in right away as I go. So after we did our chain 3, we put our 2 double crochets right around our double crochet there. In our little stitch hole right there, we're going to put a half double crochet. We're now going to work a half double crochet around this chain right here. It's a chain because it was our beginning chain to start our row. Now I'm going to work a single crochet in the next top of the stitch. I'm going to work over my tail, and I'm going to put a single crochet in that chain right there. And then in the next stitch hole right here, we're going to put a single crochet. We're going to put a half double crochet around this chain, because it's a beginning chain, so it's still a chain. Then we're going to put a double crochet in the middle here. We're going to work a half double around the side of that double crochet, putting a single crochet in the stitch, single crochet around that chain, single crochet in the next little stitch there, half double around the side of that chain, a half double in the stitch, and 2 double crochets around the next chain. I can crochet slow. Just proved myself wrong. Okay, then you find your first stitch right here, because we just worked around this chain, and we have the stitch. This is where you're going to put your double crochets, right on top of that stitch. That's going to be the last one. We do that because it's going to make a little bit cleaner look on the skull. Okay? So let's go over it again. While that hook's right there, I'm going to grab my green hook, which this one's a G. Remember, we're using an H for this, but if you need to use a G, then you need to use a G. But we did our chain 3, and we did our 2 double crochets around this chain space, or I mean around the side of this double crochet right here. We then half doubled in the top of the stitch, half double around the stitch or the side of the stitch or the beginning or a chain. Then we put a single crochet in the next stitch, single crochet around, single crochet in the stitch, half double around, double crochet in the middle hole there, half double crochet, single crochet, single crochet, single crochet, half double, and 2 double crochets, and then we put our last double crochet on top of this stitch right here. Now we are going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to turn. We're going to flip it. We're going to skip the turning stitch, and we're going to put a stitch right in the next one. We're going to put a stitch in the next stitch. We're going to chain 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to skip all these wonderful stitches, which is 6 of them. We're going to find our center double crochet right here, right in the center, and I'm going to put 2 single crochets in there. No one wants to count, especially if you're making a whole stack of these. So it's better to find some landmarks, okay? So that center DC is going to be your landmark. So after we put our 2 single crochets there, we're going to chain 8 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to skip 6 stitches, and we're going to find our last 3 stitches of our round. One of them is going to be our beginning chain, and I'm going to put a double crochet in each one of those. I'll review in just a moment. We are going to chain 3 before we do our turning. So we did our beginning chain 3. We did a double crochet in the next stitch, double crochet in the next. We chained 8. We skipped 6 stitches, and in our double crochet right in the middle, I put 2 single crochets. I then chained 8, skipped 6 stitches, and I put a double crochet in each one of the last 3. One of those 3 is going to be that beginning chain right there. So after our chain 3, we're going to turn, and we're going to put a double crochet in the next stitch there. We're going to skip the stitch, and we're going to put 6 half double crochets in this chain space right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Going to skip the 2 stitches. We're going to put 6 half doubles in this chain space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We're going to skip this first stitch. We're going to put a double crochet in the next one and a double crochet in the top of the beginning chain here. So skip 1 and then DC and DC. This time we're just going to chain 1. So we'll prep that and let's get a little review in. So we did our chain 3, put a double crochet in the next stitch, skipped the next stitch here. We put 6 double crochets in the chain space. We chained 3. Yep, we chained 3. We skipped these 2 stitches right here. We put 6 half doubles in the chain space. We skipped the next stitch. We put a double crochet in the next and a double crochet in the next, and then we chained 1 to do our turning. Now we're going to slip stitch in the next stitch there. And what I like to do to me is just easier than slip stitching. I chain 1, skip a stitch, and then slip stitch into the next one. I don't know why I do it. I just do it that way. Feel free to just single crochet across. You want to have 4 stitches left, okay? So now we're going to chain 3. We're going to put a double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. We're going to put 3 double crochets in this chain space. 1, 2, and 3. We're going to work 4 double crochets in the next 4 stitches. And this is going to be like our hidden stitch right here, so just ignore that. We're working in this stitch right here. So double crochet, double crochet, double crochet, and our 4th one. Okay. Ooh. We're going to do a turning, so let's chain 2. 1, 2. You're probably going, oh my God, just seeing this pop into view. This isn't going to be enough. I promise you, it'll be enough. Especially since I'm going to be taking this apart. Okay, so what we did here was we chained 1 for our turning, slip stitch into here, slip stitch into here, slip stitch into here, and we chained 3. We did a double crochet across the next 3 stitches, 3 double crochets in the chain space. You can see the eyes and the nose. Then we did a double crochet in each of the next 4 stitches, and then we chained 2. We're going to turn. We're going to put a double crochet in that same stitch as our turning, and that would be a beginning DC tog. I'm going to chain 1, skip a stitch, double crochet in the next, chain 1, skip stitch, double crochet in the next, chain 1, double crochet, skip stitch, double crochet, chain 1, skip stitch, double crochet, chain 1, skip stitch, and in the last one at the top of the beginning chain here, we're going to put a 2 DC tog. So we're going to do our double crochet, start our double crochet, start another double crochet in that same spot. We'll have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, go through all 2 or all 3. Going to chain 2. We're going to do basically the same thing. Chain 1, skip, stitch into the double crochet, chain 1, skip, 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 and then we're putting a DC tog in the next stitch. And we're going to chain 2. Okay, so basically we had 2 rows of a DC tog, skip, chain or stitch, DC tog. We got a skip, a chain 1, skip, double crochet, chain 1, skip, double crochet, chain 1, skip, double crochet, and we have 2 of those, and those make our teeth. Both ends we have our DC togs. So now we're going to turn after we chained our 2. We're going to put a half double in this same stitch as the turning, and we're going to put a half double in each of the chain spaces and each of the stitches. And this is going to be our bottom jaw. The very last stitch, we're going to put 2 half doubles. Look at that. So the bottom jaw here, we're going to chain 2, put a half double in the same spot, half double in each of the chain spaces, and a half double in each of the stitches. The very last stitch, we're going to put 2 half double crochets. Now, right here, you have your finished skull, so finish off your piece here, and then I suggest tucking in your tail, or waiting till you have a stack of them, and then tuck in your tails, okay? So I'm going to change my mat to a lighter color, so that way the next round's a little easier for you, and then we will get started. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my skull, and there's not really a right or wrong way of it. This was our last row. We started here. This was our ending, and this is where I tucked in my tail, wove it in nicely. So this is what I would call the right side, okay? Because my tail was over here. If you're left-handed, the tail would be over here. So I'm going to take it, and I'm just going to turn it. And now the top of the skull is on my right-hand side, and my left-hand side are the teeth. I do show this in the pattern, and so if you are following the pattern, I do have pictures. Once again, using my size H, I did my slip stitch, put my hook on, and I'm going to find the beginning chain right here. Okay, this is the chain that I made when I turned my corner to do underneath my eyes. I'm going to go into the top of there, and I'm going to make my slip stitch. Okay, and my tail nice. I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to skip all these wonderful stitches, skip the side of this stitch, skip the side of this stitch, and put 3 double crochets in this little hole right here, which is like, I guess you would say where the teeth are meeting. So I put 3 double crochets there. 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2. I'm going to skip the side of this stitch, which, by the way, this is one big stitch. Remember, because that's a DC tog. I'm going to skip the top of it, and I'm going to find my beginning chain right here that I used to turn when I put my half doubles in there. I'm going to find the top of it, and I'm going to put 3 double crochets in there. 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to go over to the next stitch right here, and I'm going to put 3 double crochets. Going to chain 2, 1, 2. We're going to skip 3 stitches, and right in our center here, our center half double, I'm going to put 3 double crochets. So once again, finding that destination point, so you only have to use your eyes and not count. I'm crocheting 3 double crochets in the middle. See how that's in the middle? Remember, destination points when you're making multiples. It's so much easier. I think your brain automatically does that anyways. So after that, we're going to chain 2, and we're going to skip 4 stitches this time, and we're going to put 3 double crochets in the next stitch. We're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. I'll review in just a moment. Now this one I kind of like to put around the side. In the pattern I say find the top of it, but because of that knot, it's just kind of easier to put it around the side of it. So I'm going to put 3 double crochets right around the side. You're going to get the same look as the other one. It's just going to be a little bit easier. See how they kind of match? See how they match? Okay, we're going to chain 2, 1, 2. We're going to skip the side of this double crochet right here, and in this stitch, same as what we did on the opposite side, I'm going to put 3 double crochets. I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to skip the side of these 2 stitches here, and I'm going to find my furthermost top stitch, which is going to be right on top of our last double crochet right here. And I'm going to put a slip stitch. Okay, so let's do a quick review here. We started with our skull this way. So the top of the skull was on my right side, the teeth were on my left. I put a slip stitch into the beginning of my beginning chain here. I then chained 3, skipped the side, put 3 in the next stitch where you can see it's kind of where the teeth are biting down. I chained 2, skipped the side of the stitch, And in the top of the beginning chain right here, it's the chain that we used to do our turning and to make our half doubles. I put 3 double crochets. I chained 3. In the very top of the next stitch, I did 3 double crochets. I chained 3. I skipped 3 stitches, and I put 3 double crochets in what would be considered the middle of the jaw right here. I then chained 2. I skipped 4 stitches this time, putting 3 double crochets in top of the next stitch. I then chained 3. I worked 3 double crochets around that last half double crochet we made on the side of the skull for our jaw. Chained 2, skipped the side of the double crochet here, and this is actually a DC tog. So skip the side of the stitch here, and I put 3 double crochets in the next stitch, which by now I could have turned this way. I then chained 3, and I joined at the very top of the jaw, right there, okay? Right underneath on that cheekbone. So now you can chain 1 and turn, or I just turned, because I'm a rebel. I'm going to put my slip stitch right into that chain. I'm going to chain 3. And I'm going to put 2 more double crochet in the next, or in that same space right there. Chain 2. Skip the double crochet, or the 3 double crochets. This is the granny part of the granny skulls, if you haven't made that connection yet. So we're going to do 3 double crochets in this chain space here. Chain 2, and in this corner space we're going to put 3 double crochets, chain 3, 3 double crochets, all in that same little corner, chain 2, 3 double crochets in the next corner, in the next chain space there. Chain 2, skipping the stitches, putting 3 in the next chain space. Chain 2. In this next chain or corner space here, we're going to do the 3 double crochets. Chain 3, and then another 3 double crochets. Going to chain 2, skip the next 3 stitches, putting 3 double crochets in the next chain space. Chain 2, skipping the stitches, and we're going to put 3 double crochets in this next chain space. But what I like to do is stick my hook in one of those chains, put that through, wrap it through the next stitch, wrap it through the next stitch, wrap it through the next stitch, and then go back onto itself, wrap it, wrap it. Instead of a rip it, we're wrapping it. So I have my chain 2 here. I have my tail basically all tucked in, skipping those 3, and I'm going to hide the rest of my little tail right underneath my stitches. So what we did for this weird round or row here, we did a chain 3. We slip stitched into our chain here. We did our chain 3, 2 double crochets in the chain space, chain 2, skip the stitches, 3 double crochet in the next chain space, chain 2, skip stitches. In the corner we did 3 double crochets, a chain 3 and 3 double crochets, chain 2, skipped the 3 stitches, put 3 stitches in the chain space, and we continued that all the way around till we get to the end here. Now here's where it gets a little tricky and a little weird, because we're going to be going around the top of the skull. What we're going to do is we're going to chain 2, 1, 2. We're going to skip the side of this stitch and skip the side of this stitch and put 3 half doubles right here in the stitch. I actually like to separate and put my double crochets in the middle of the double crochet right there. Not around it, but in the middle of it. Don't ask me why, that's the way I like to do it. But you can see where the stitch right here, where to actually put it. So I'm not too far off. For some reason, my mind just wants me to put it right there. I don't know. But the pattern calls for you to put it right in the stitch right here. So you try both ways, figure out which way you like best. I'm now going to chain 2, 1, 2. I'm going to skip this chain because it is a chain because we use for turning. I'm going to skip what this is like a hidden stitch right here because this is what we use to go around. We put our double crochets around it, so we're going to skip this little stitch that's hidden. We're going to skip the next stitch. That's a full stitch. You can see that we're skipping. Then we're going to put a double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. We're going to chain 2, 1, 2. We're going to skip 3 stitches, and the next stitch we're going to put 3 triple crochets. Keep them nice and even. If I slow down, I'll make it they'll be messy. So that's why I had to go faster there. So now we're going to chain 3 because we're working a corner. And in that same stitch that we put our triples, I'm going to put 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2. I'm going to skip 3 stitches, and I'm going to put 3 half doubles in the next one. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, skip 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and put 3 half doubles in the next. 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to chain 2. I'm going to skip 3 stitches, and I'm going to do the reverse of here. I'm going to put 3 double crochets in this next stitch. 1, 2, and 3. I'm then going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to put 3 triple crochets in that same stitch as those double crochets. 1, 2, 3. I'm then going to chain 2, 1, 2. I'm going to skip the next 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to put a double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 2, 1, 2. I'm going to be skipping this next stitch. This one is not really hidden. It's kind of like just not there. So we're going to skip the side of the stitch, and we're going to skip the side of this beginning chain here. We're going to find the little top of that chain stitch. Okay, see where I'm putting? It's going to be like right underneath the eye. You can see the line right here. Once you find your locations, you're not going to be counting really anymore, maybe just the 3s, and you'll be fine. Okay, so I'm going to put 3 half doubles in that space right there. I'm going to chain 2, and I'm going to join at the top of my beginning chain. Okay, I'm not going to go over this part. I'm just going to go over this part around the skull here. So after we put our 3 double crochets in our chain space, we chained 2, we skipped the side of the stitch, and you can skip the side of the stitch and crochet in the stitch right here, or you can do what I did and just kind of put it in the middle of the double crochet. You can see it still looks the same, it's just It's just my brain. I apologize for it. And if you're here, you like my wacky brain, so welcome, welcome. So we chain 2, we skipped the side of the stitch, skipped what would be considered a hidden stitch, skipped the first real double crochet here. We put a double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. We chained 2, skipped 3 stitches, putting 3 triple crochets, a chain 3 and 3 double crochets in the next stitch. We then chained 2, skipped 3 stitches, put 3 half doubles in the next one, chained 2, skipped 3 stitches, put 3 half doubles in the next stitch, chained 2, skipped 3 stitches, and we put 3 double crochets, chain 3 and 3 triple crochets in the next stitch. We chained 2, we skipped 3 stitches, putting a double crochet in each one of the next 3 stitches. We chained 2, we skipped the stitch right here, we skipped the side of this, we skipped the side of the double crochet, and we put our 3 half doubles in the next stitch, ending the round with a chain 2 and a slip stitch in top of our beginning chain. We're now going to flip. You can chain 1 and flip if it's easier for you. I just flip, put my slip stitch in my chain space here, chain 3, putting 2 more double crochets in the same spot, chain 2, skipping the stitches, 3 double crochets in the next. This round's pretty easy. Chain 2, skip the 3 stitches, 3 stitches in the next, working all double crochets, chain 2, in this corner space, coming to the center of my yarn here. I'm going to have a yarn barf. Come on, big yarn barf, just get it over with, you know you want to. Oh, it's going to be fun. Yarn barf, it's real. Okay, so in this corner space, we are going to do our 3 double crochets, our chain 3, 1, 2, 3, 3 more double crochets, chain 2, skipping the stitches, putting 3 in the chain space. Once again, chain 2, we're doing that all around, skipping the stitches, putting 3 stitches in the chain space, chain 2, we'll keep going around here. Putting 3 double crochets in the corner, chain 3, 3 DC in the corner, yarn barf, come on, you can do it, you can do it. We're just keep going around on that. Nonchalantly switches from yarn barf complaining to nice happy stitches. And this is where the granny skull comes in, because when you're making a traditional granny square, you do this kind of a stitch. Some say, oh, those holes are so big, how can you be warm with this blanket? Oh, if you know anything about yarn, those holes are a relief when it comes to afghans and crocheted blankets like this, because they really do hold in the heat wonderfully. Remember, in the corners, we do our 3 double crochets, our chain 3, 3 double crochets. Chain 2, skip, and double crochet. Oh, yarn barf. Chain 2, almost around. Remember, you can pause at any time, but it's just basically granny square, 3 stitches, chain 2, skip 3. And then the corners are the 3DC, chain 3, and 3DC. In my older videos that are not very good quality, I'm less talkative and more straight to the point. It's a little more nervous, you could say. So I just got done what I needed to get done and got it over with. And that's why I'm going to keep those on the playlist, so that way if somebody just wants straightforward, you got that. Okay. And then we're at the very end, so we're going to chain 2. We're going to find the top of our beginning chain here. We're going to do our slip stitch, and we're going to fasten off. Get rid of my yarn bar, set it aside. Okie dokie. For the next round, I'm also going to keep it on the white tissue paper here, so that way it's a little more accessible to show, so that way everybody can see it a little easier. So I'm going to grab my red yarn. And for this one, what I normally like to do is I have my tail, and just like I did with my flippity flip flip over there, I kind of just feed it in, flip it, and just kind of twist it through so that way it's secure. Wrapping it around. Just kind of getting it out all in there nicely. I'll backtrack just a little bit there. We're going to be crocheting over this, okay? So we're going to put our slip stitch into the second stitch here. We're going to chain 2 because we're going to be working half doubles. I'm going to work over my tail, but I'll show you a little trick I do to help tie that in. We're going to work a half double over my tail and into the next stitch. We're going to be working 3 half doubles in this chain space. So 1, 2, and for that, while I'm working my last one, I'm going to pull my tail up through my stitch. So I'm going to keep it right here next to it, grab both of them when I pull it through, and you can see my tail is now way up there. And now it's actually a very secure tail because I'm also going to tuck it in up here. I'm going to skip a stitch and put a half double in each of the next 2 stitches. 1, 2, 3 in the next chain space. Skip stitch, stitch in each of the next 2, 3 in the chain space, 1, 2, 3, skip stitch, half double in the next, half double in the next, 3 half doubles in the chain space, skipping a stitch, half double in each of the next 2, half double or 3 half doubles in the chain space, 1, 2, 3, skipping a stitch, half double in each of the next 2, 3 in the next chain space, 1, 2, 3. We're going to skip the stitch, putting a half double in each of the next 2. Let's do a quick review because I did that pretty fast there. You don't have to do the tail tuck like I did. It's okay. You can leave your tails dangling and tuck them in later. It's up to you. To me, I just find it's faster this way and more efficient. So what I did was I joined in the second stitch of the corner, chained 2, and that would be considered my first half double crochet in the next stitch, 3 half doubles in the chain space, skipping a stitch, half double in the next, half double in the next, 3 half doubles in the chain space, skipping the stitch, half double, 3 in the next chain, skipping the stitch, half double, 3 in the chain, skip stitch, half double. And that's going to be basically the same thing you repeat all the way around, okay? On the flat sides. Now let's do the corner, which is a little on the trickier side, but it gives you a nice, clean, square, full corner. So in my corner here, I'm going to put 2 half doubles. 1, 2. I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2. I'm going to slightly turn because I'm working around. And I'm going to put a half double crochet around the side of that stitch I just made. Then I have part of that chain space right here still left, so I'm going to put 2 more half doubles right there, 1 and 2. I'm going to skip stitch, half double in each. I'll show you that corner again when I get to the next one. 3 in the chain, skip stitch, half double, then 3 half doubles in the chain space, skip stitch, half double, 3 in the chain, skip stitch, half double, 3 in the chain, skip the stitch, half double, and now we're on to one of those corners again. So we're going to put 2 half double crochets in here, 1, 2, we're going to chain 2, and around the side, you can see the side right here of this last stitch, we're going to put a half double crochet. We're now going to put 2 half doubles in the rest of that chain space. And you can see it gives you a nice square corner because this one is open, you got this big old hole there, and then this one's nice and full and nice and square, okay? So let's keep going. We skip stitch and we half double, 3 in the chain, we skip, and then half double, 3. I'm going to speed up. You can pause it and catch up. Yes, this is my normal speed. I am not talking over. This is just how I crochet. And it's just, I guess 40 years of crocheting. Oh my. Once again, we're now at the corner where we're going to put 2 half doubles, chain 2, working a half double crochet around the side of the stitch there, and then putting 2 half doubles in the rest of the chain space there. We're going to skip stitch, and we're going to keep going around like we did before, half double, and then our 3 in the chain, tricky part about this round is the corners. And yeah, you're supposed to be counting, yada, yada, yada. Come to our last corner. Once again, our 2 half doubles, chain 2, a half double around the side of the half double stitch, 2 half doubles, skipping our stitch, finding the top of our beginning chain 2, putting a slip stitch. Okay? And that's our first round of the square border. So now let's start the next one. So we're going to chain 2. That's going to count as our first half double once again. We're going to find the top of our next stitch, putting a half double in there. And we're going to work basically half double crochets around, just along the side there. We're going to keep going till we get to the end. Is there a stitch count? Yes. If I remember, maybe I'll put it up on the screen. Otherwise, feel free to go into the description below and you can pick up the pattern, and I have it nicely written out all for you. So I'm just doing my half doubles all the way around. If you want a little bit fancier look, you can actually, instead of going through this way of your stitch, you can go through the back 2 loops. Okay? See the loops in front? I got 2 loops. So I can do that as well. And you may get a little fancier. I'll do a few stitches and you can see. And this is the back loop crochet. So if you like this look right here, you can see that it forms a little line. Or you like this look, it's up to you. Neither way is bad. I just started the rest of my squares look like this, so I have to be consistent. But if you like it this way, working in the back ones, go right ahead. You can't tell the difference, or you can tell a little bit of the difference in the back. Okay, so I'm going to frog those out because that's not how I will stay consistent if I keep doing it that way. So I'm just going to regular half double in all these. But that does change the look quite nicely. If you also wanted to change the look by doing back posts on your last round here, you could also do that, except it will mess up the corner just a tiny bit. Okay? So now we did all our half doubles, and we are to our beginning chain right here. Okay, this is the chain 2 that we made in our first round, and then we did our half double in the next stitch. So we are right to this point. So what we're going to do is we're going to put 2 half doubles around the side of that chain. Okay. And just like the previous round, what we're going to do is we're going to chain 2, and we're going to put 1 half double around the side of that stitch. We have a slightly hidden stitch right here, which is hidden. So we're going to find the top of the next half double. We're going to find the top of it, and we're going to put our stitch there. And then we're going to half double crochet across all the next stitches till we get to the next corner. I'll review in just a moment with that corner there. because that's a little trickier than the other one, but you can see how nice and square that is. Okay, it really makes a nice edging. So I had my half doubles here in my chain space that was used for our beginning chain to turn the corner of our previous round. I put 2 half doubles in there. I then chained 2, and I put a half double crochet around the side of that last half double I made. I found the top of the next stitch right here, and I put a half double in it, and I'm now putting a half double crochet all the way across. We'll go work the other corner again in just a moment. I can't actually do a good song because I could get copyright infringement. So just sing your favorite little song right here. It's all good. It's all good. Okay, we're at that last stitch. And now we found our chain space once again that we use for turning. I'm going to put 2 half doubles in there, 1 and 2. I'm going to chain 2. I'm going to put a half double crochet around the side of that last half double that we made. I'm going to find the top of the next stitch. I'm going to work a half double in there. Then I'm going to work a half double all the way across. Hope I don't get dinged for that. Woo-hoo. Maybe I'll just mute it out or something. Oh, well, I'm overturning my brain. My original blankets I made were of this burgundy color, the off, I think it was stark white, not off-white, and then black. And I believe that was like 8 years ago I created the pattern. A couple of my longtime Facebook friends own the original ones I made. Back to the corner again. Remember, we do our 2 around the chain, chain 2, putting our double crochet around the next stitch, around the side of that last stitch we made, half double in the next, then we're just half doubling across. I'll put some examples of the ones that I made while we're crocheting here. Did a queen size green one. That's my original throw. Made many other throws, including a pink one. And I think I made a purple one too. Not quite sure. But since my stash has a lot of different colors, I'm thinking I'm probably going to make a white speckled, remember that corner, doing 2 half doubles in the chain space, chain 2, half double around the side of the half double, finding our next top of our stitch, half double in there, and then we're finishing it off. then we finish that off there. I think my next one's going to be a rainbow colored one. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, so if we just square this out just a bit with our hands, you can see it doesn't really need blocking. Okay. So you can, actually I might put the numbers for those down below. Otherwise, I really do suggest just pick up the pattern. You'll have all the numbers in there and stitch counts, and then you can also crochet along with me and just have fun. Okay? So I'm going to tuck in my tail, and then I'm going to finish the rest of my squares. And then when I come back for the next video set, we are going to be joining, and we're going to be working on the border. Okay? So you go make up all your squares, and then I will see you over there.